Hi, I'm Charles with Handicap. A boy wakes up with no name, no memories, and his level reset to 1. The Emperor names him a prince, and that's when everyone realizes something terrifying. The more people who serve him, the stronger he becomes. His power has no cap, his growth has no limit, and by the time his enemies understand what that means, it's already too late. This is the story of Noah, the prince who turns loyalty into raw power. The story begins as a guy wakes up and wonders where he is. A woman is standing over him, and he wonders if it's his mother. He realizes that she can't be because she doesn't look like his mother at all, and he notices that he can barely move. Things only get more mysterious as he notices that there's a floating screen in front of him. There are several attributes all over the screen, so he wonders if these are supposed to represent his stats. This realization is very disappointing to him because he notices that his level has gone all the way back down to 1. What's even more strange is that he doesn't have a name. Just then, a man that the woman calls Her Majesty appears, so the boy wonders if this guy is some kind of emperor. The emperor declares that this boy will be named Noah, and he shall hold the title of 13th Imperial Prince. The emperor is told that Noah has an affinity for water magic, so he decides that Noah will rule over the land called Almeria. This domain will be perfectly suited for him because it's the land where the Water Clan resides. Noah notices that things are changing on his screen, but he doesn't know what it means because he has never seen values like these before. The emperor wants to see Noah's skills, so the priest reveals them. Everyone in the entire room is then shocked by what his status screen shows. Noah doesn't understand what any of it means, but he does notice that the values next to his water attribute have changed. Everyone in the room continues to gasp in amazement because Noah has a double S rank water attribute. Even Noah's mother's in disbelief because this stat is so much higher than when he was born just a while ago. The priest is at a complete loss for words as he wonders if this means that Noah has already awakened. Reaching double S rank is incredibly rare in general and is completely unheard of for someone to reach it at such a young age. All the spectators marvel at Noah because they realize that they are witnessing the birth of a man with immense talent. Noah is still really confused and he doesn't know what to make of all of this. All he knows for sure is that he has been granted a new life and he was reincarnated as a noble. Noah's new home is the Mira's Empire, which is a nation of warriors nestled inside of a mountain range. The emperor is the father to over 10 sons, known as the imperial princes. The princes are revered and adored by the people as the most renowned of nobles. It has been 6 years now since Noah was reincarnated, and he has come to realize something about his stats. The values he sees on his status screen are different from what others can see. They see normal ranks like everyone has, but Noah is able to see different values. Instead of the double S rank that everyone else sees for his water attribute, Noah sees E plus S. What he has learned is that these additional values come from the people that are his subordinates. For example, the S added to his water attribute came from the domain he was granted at birth. The emperor gave Noah the domain called Almeria, which made all the residents there his subordinates. Almeria is where the Water Clan resides, so having them as his subordinates gave Noah a huge boost to his water attribute. Even his maids give a small boost to his attributes, making it clear that he will benefit from any subordinate, no matter how weak they are. In other words, Noah can grow stronger by gaining more subordinates. Another thing he can see that others can't is that his level can be raised infinitely. As the maids get Noah ready for his day, they can't help but point out how well behaved he is. Most boys his age would be full of mischief, but Noah's always so calm and well composed. Noah has learned a lot about how his status screen works, but his capabilities are still limited because he's only 6 years old. Just then, a maid named Evelyn informs Noah that 2 visitors have arrived. Noah explains to us that Evelyn's a beautiful maid and she specializes in hospitality. Evelyn informs Noah that 2 of his brothers have come to visit, and they said that Noah can take his time before meeting with them. Noah knows that he can't keep them waiting though, because one of his brothers is the crown prince. Noah goes to meet with them immediately, and he's greeted by his brothers. One of them is named Henry, and he is the 4th prince. The other is Albert, and he's the crown prince. Noah apologizes for being late, and the brothers can't help but notice that he's as courteous as ever. Noah is always very polite, so the brothers are sure that he will be a fine chancellor one day. Just then, Albert reveals that they have brought a present for Noah. Albert has someone bring it in, but it's not something pleasant. It looks like a coffin covered in some kind of dark force, and the guy carrying it looks terrified. The guy's even sweating from fear, so Noah can only wonder what's going on. Albert tells the guy to open the box, and Noah's horrified for a moment. He hears people screaming in agony, and he sees them begging for Prince Albert to save them. This is only a vision Albert is having, because the only thing inside the case is a sword. Albert wonders what Noah thinks about it, and Noah says that it's incredible. Albert tells his little brother to pick it up, but Noah is hesitant. Something isn't right about the sword, but it's a gift from the crown prince, so he can't refuse. Noah picks the sword up, and Albert is very impressed. He explains that the sword is called the Leviathan, and it's a water magic sword, known as the strongest in the Empire. It's not for the faint of heart though, because over 120 people have lost their lives trying to master it. Noah's shocked to hear this, and he panics as he almost drops the gift from the crown prince. Henry can tell that Noah's scared, so he tells him not to worry. Those that are not meant to wield the sword lose their lives the moment they lift it. This sword is so cursed that for most people, even just carrying the box it's in is agonizing. Albert is glad that he brought this gift for Noah because it showed him that someone with water affinity at a double S rank level is what it takes to wield the sword. He then thanks Noah because this was a very valuable demonstration. The two brothers leave, and Noah calls Albert a despicable prince because he was just testing him. Noah doesn't dare say it out loud though, because he knows that if he did, he would lose his life. Outside, Henry wonders if it was a good idea to give Noah the Leviathan. The sword is priceless, but Albert doesn't regret his decision. He's really glad because he thinks that the sword is better off in the hands of someone as brilliant as Noah. However, he says that it's because of Noah's brilliance that he needs to experience being bitten by his own precious pet. That night, Noah can tell that something is bothering his maid named Zoe. Zoe says that it's nothing, but Noah insists that she tell him. She's Noah's personal maid, and she reveals that she would like to request some time off. There was a flood in her hometown, and the farm she grew up in was completely washed out. Now her mother, who lives alone, is out of work, and she needs help. Zoe's other relatives won't do anything, and they have told Zoe to just go work in the red light district. They told her that she's worthless, but even she could sell herself as someone who served the prince. Noah interrupts her as he has heard enough, and he has a different idea. Instead of Zoe selling herself, he will employ her mother in the mansion. She will simply be in charge of locking the front gate, and he will pay her 10 reen every month. This is incredibly generous, but Zoe points out that she's never heard of such a job. He's also going to be paying her way more than the standard wage, but Noah already knows. His generosity isn't done though, as he explains that there's an unused house in the outskirts of the capital. He says that Zoe and her mother can live there, so Zoe begins to cry because of his great kindness. Zoe thanks him over and over again, but Noah stays professional, and he tells her to continue her work. Meanwhile, he thinks about how he can never let someone that works for him work in the red light district. It would sully his title as the 13th prince, but more importantly, Zoe is his servant. She has been with him for a long time, and she will serve Noah for life. Just then, Noah calls out to his butler named Dylan. Noah explains that there was a flood in Zoe's hometown, so he instructs Dylan to buy as much of the land there as possible. Zoe's completely stunned, so Noah explains why. There will be villains trying to con people who have lost their livelihoods, like Zoe's mother. Noah wants to protect them, so he instructs Dylan to secure them before anything bad happens. Noah wonders what's wrong when everyone becomes silent, so Dylan explains that he's just surprised. Noah's very young, but he's handling a situation he never experienced before with incredible foresight. This is very true, but Noah thinks about how he saw more than his share of this kind of stuff before he was reincarnated. Dylan wonders where he should get the money to make this purchase because he estimates that buying all that land will cost 700,000 reen. Zoe's shocked by this number, and Noah can't blame her for being surprised. The average annual income of an adult man in the capital is 120 reen. Even Noah's own servants only earn 8,000 reen a year. Even with the tax revenue from Almeria and the monetary gifts from the Emperor, Noah only has about 500,000 reen to work with. That leaves 200,000 reen that Noah needs to come up with, but he has an idea. He owns land just south of the capital, so he determines that he will have to sell it. Dylan points out that that land was a gift from the Emperor, so selling it without permission would be a crime against the imperial family. Noah doesn't care though, and he says that he will accept the consequences. Zoe doesn't want him getting in trouble, but Noah points out that nobles have their obligations. Sometimes they must sacrifice themselves to bring happiness to as many of their people as possible. Dylan understands, so he says that he will carry out his order immediately. He also makes sure to thank Noah, so Noah remembers that Dylan was from the same area. A while later, Noah prepares to leave for Doso. Just then, he rushes to his brother Henry, and he apologizes for not greeting him sooner. Noah explains that he purchased land in an area called Doso, so he's going to inspect it. Henry notices that Noah is taking the Leviathan, so he wonders if Noah is planning to use it. Noah says that he's not, and he's just taking it as a test. He sensed some kind of power in the sword the first time he held it, but he hasn't felt it since. Noah's taken it with him to see if he will feel it again. Henry actually came to talk about the sword because he looked into it. Albert said some strange things about it, so Henry decided to investigate. He found that the Leviathan seems to have a will of its own, and it only obeys the one it recognizes as its master. Noah thinks of the sword as a mad dog, which means he will have to earn its recognition. Henry tells Noah to carry it with him if he must, but warns against actually using it. He doesn't give any details, and he only tells Noah that his life will come to an end if he ever tries to use it. A while later, Noah arrives in Doso, and Zoe is horrified to see how bad the damage is. The homes are completely destroyed, so Noah determines that buying the land will be more difficult than he assumed. The deeds for the land were probably ruined, so they will have to purchase them from the list held by the government office. Dylan and Zoe are both shocked because Noah was able to ascertain all of that from just one look. Noah tells Dylan to hurry to the office, and he will take responsibility if anything happens. Noah then has Zoe show him around so he can inspect the land. The root vegetables have already started to rot, so Noah determines that there will be no harvest this year. Zoe says that being here could be dangerous, but Noah doesn't care. If she tries to stop him because of the bad people that might be here, then he will just sneak out alone at night. Just then they hear a bell, and Zoe explains that food is being distributed to the homeless. This means that the Empire is doing their job to help the people, but the food is very bland. It's barely more than boiled water, and it tastes terrible. Noah's upset because it's already spoiled, but the people there know that they can't ask for too much. They say that they're just lucky to eat it all, so they accept whatever they can get. Still, Noah can't believe that the Empire would distribute spoiled food, but the guy he's talking to becomes worried. Someone has arrived for an inspection, and it's a local government official. He is Lord Garrel, and he goes to check the food. This guy just looks at it and determines that it looks fine to him. It smells so bad that he has to cover his nose, but he still approves it. Noah doesn't let this slide, and he points out that Lord Garrel must be getting kickbacks. Dylan and Zoe are horrified to see Noah speaking this way to this noble, but it's too late. Noah accuses Garrel of not caring about the people at all, and he says that the only reason he hired these people to hand out food was so he could take some money off the top. Garrel doesn't deny it, and he explains that this is hard work. It takes a lot of effort, so getting some money in return is a privilege afforded to those of them who give so much. These guys then all have a good laugh, as he says that this kid just learned a good lesson. Noah isn't laughing though, and he doesn't like Garrel's condescending tone. Noah is clearly getting upset, and we see that something's happening to the Leviathan. Noah explains that getting rich off rations intended for disaster victims is a crime, but Garrel doesn't like that at all. He explains that insulting him is the same as insulting Sir Ron, the ruler of this entire land. He wonders if Noah knows who he is, but Noah interrupts him. Noah says that Garrel's tyrannizing the weak to gain more power, and he's disgusted. Noah's anger continues to build, and we see that the darkness around his sword is starting to grow. Garrel reminds Noah of an angry dog, and this reminds him of the Leviathan. Noah prepares to declare Garrel's punishment, but Garrel's upset himself. He goes to attack Noah, but Noah announces that Garrel's punishment will be death. Just as the tension reaches its peak, the Leviathan flies at our hero. Zoe's horrified as she thinks it impaled him, but the sword actually stopped right next to Noah. Noah can tell that the Leviathan's upset because he associated its name with trash like Garrel. He says that if the sword really is angry, then he wants it to show him its strength. Just then the Leviathan releases its power, and it begins to consume our hero. Noah struggles as he feels a great deal of pain, and he acknowledges just how strong the sword is. It's clear that the Leviathan is trying to make Noah submit to it by proving its power. It wants Noah to admit that he's weak compared to it, but Noah's disappointed. He points out that the strong only flaunt their power before the weak because they fear someone even stronger. Noah's taking a lot of damage because of the sword, but he's able to withstand it. He declares that if someone is born with a lot of power, then they should use it for the good of the people. He announces that this is his privilege as a noble, and he manages to take hold of the sword. Noah tells the Leviathan to obey him, so the sword does. Garrel continues his attack, but he's no match for Noah and his new sword. The ruthless Noah takes Garrel's head off, so the knights decide that they will have to eliminate the boy. Noah hasn't even shown a tiny bit of his power yet, so he unleashes an attack that amazes everyone. It summons a giant pillar of water, and it leaves a huge hole in the ground. The damage was so immense that the bottom of the hole can't even be seen, and Noah tells the Leviathan that its power is insane. Just then some other knights arrive, and the food distributors tell them that some kid eliminated Lord Geralt. The knight captain is named Rowan, and he immediately bows down to the 13th prince. Noah is surprised to see that someone recognizes him, and Rowan apologizes for how he was treated. Rowan was only sent here recently, and he's actually a servant of Prince Henry. Everyone is confused, so Rowan tells them that they're in the presence of the 13th prince. They all bow down to him, but Noah's concerned about something else. He explains that someone hired these food distributors for kickbacks, so he punished the man who was behind it all. Noah points out who Geralt's accomplices were, and he instructs Rowan to give them the punishment they deserve. As for the food distribution, Noah announces that they will be starting over. He says that from now on, the soup will be much thicker, and it will be made fresh. It should be so dense that he can stand a spoon in it without it falling. Rowan promises to make it happen, and the villagers can't believe that they will actually be able to eat proper food. They all cheer for Prince Noah, so Zoe says that he's really amazing. Elsewhere, Albert is informed about what happened. He realizes that not only did Noah not get bitten, the mad dog actually submitted to him. Albert never could have imagined this, and he determines that Noah may be even more useful than he thought. A while later, Noah is summoned to meet with the Emperor. The Emperor heard that Noah sold some of the land he granted him, and he used the money to buy an entire village. Noah can't deny it, so he prepares to receive his punishment. He is shocked, however, when the Emperor thanks him instead. Noah's efforts had prevented the emergence of anyone trying to take advantage of the flood. If this natural disaster was followed by a man-made disaster, they would have had to commit imperial resources to clean up the mess. The Emperor can only wonder how Noah found out about the flood, so Noah explains that it was simply a coincidence. His maid was from that village, and he just acted quickly. The Emperor also heard that Noah mastered a water magic sword in that village, and Noah can't believe that he knows about it. That isn't all he's shocked by, as the Emperor declares that he would like to see Noah's abilities again. The priest goes to check just like when Noah was born, and he pulls up Noah's status screen. Noah hasn't checked himself in a few days, so he just now realizes something. It turns out that it's not just human subordinates that can add to his stats. His water stat has increased even more, and it's because Noah was able to make the Leviathan his subordinate. The Emperor is amazed, and Noah sees that his water attribute is now triple S rank. The Emperor would like for Noah to continue aiding him, so Noah says that he will. Later, Noah goes to see a singer perform, and we learn that he has given Zoe more work to thank her for her help in her village. Zoe does good work, and she pays attention to the smallest details, so he has given her more responsibilities. Noah's being very smart with how he selects his followers, and he says that you can never have too many brilliant people working for you. Noah then watches closely as the singer performs in front of a large crowd. Her name is Alici, and Noah can tell a lot about her from the way she sings. She sings earnestly, and she takes it very seriously, which means that she's a very conscientious girl. Just then, some guys barge in to stop the show, and they wonder why Alici is wasting time. They point out that she won't earn enough money to pay off her father's debt this way, so she needs to do something else. Alici explains that singing is all she has, but this just makes the guys even more upset. They point out that there's a better way for a woman to make money, and Alici is horrified by what they mean. Everyone in the crowd is too terrified to say anything, but a single voice gets the attention of the thugs. It's Noah, but the guys tell him to run home to his mommy. Noah ignores the insult, and he simply references Imperial Law 67, Article 2. It says that it's illegal to make children assume their parents' debts. Noah takes the stage and declares that making Alici repay her father's debt and ordering her to sell her body to do it is a crime. One of the thugs angrily tells Noah to not mess with them, but Noah instantly attacks them by summoning the Leviathan. Noah wonders if they really want to keep going, but the guys don't want to mess with him and his terrifying sword. They run off, but they promise not to forget this. Noah tells the owners to inform him if those guys ever come back, and the guy is shocked to learn that Noah's a prince. Noah tells Alici that he's very impressed with her voice, and he wonders how much her living expenses are every single month. Alici doesn't even want to say, because it's a lot, due to the treatment she has to pay for her mother's illness. Noah doesn't even wait for her answer, and he simply says 25 reen. Alici doesn't even understand what's going on, so Noah explains that it's how much he will pay her every month so she can concentrate on singing. That isn't even the best of it, as he explains that he will increase the amount as she improves. Alici is shocked by his incredible kindness, so she thanks our hero. Noah says it's not a problem, and he would like to hear the rest of her performance. When Noah returns home, he is told that some lenders have come to see him. Noah notices that it's the thugs from before, and he is told that they want to apologize to him. Noah determines that they just want to apologize after finding out who he is, so he tells his maid to have them sent away. He has a message for them as well, and that is that a prince is not someone that they can just see whenever they want. Henry arrives, and he's impressed by how Noah handled the situation, granting an audience to men like them would devalue Noah's standing as royalty, so he's right to send them away. Noah agrees, but he explains that he has another reason for getting rid of them. He's going to help Alichi, so he wants the lenders to think that he's still angry with them. As long as they think that Noah's angry, they won't bother Alichi. Henry's really impressed because this means that Noah's thinking very far ahead. He points out that their brothers Frank and Gary are closer to Noah's age, but they don't think like him at all. Gary's the one most guilty of bad behavior because despite all the teaching he receives, he still hasn't learned his manners. Noah's sure that his brothers will learn soon enough, but deep down he isn't so sure. Just then, Henry changes the conversation as he would like to talk about the magic sword again. It seems like Noah has mastered it, and Noah gives the credit to Henry. Henry was the one that said that the Leviathan has a will of its own, and he was right. Henry can only wonder how Noah carries it around as he remembers that the sword is huge. Just then, Noah shocks him out of his seat as he summons the Leviathan. Noah reveals that he hides the sword in his sleeve by shrinking it down to a tiny size. Henry has never seen anything like this before, and Noah explains that the sword itself taught him how to shrink it down. This is totally unprecedented, and Henry can't believe it. The Leviathan was isolated as a national treasure for 2 centuries, and even the records from before then mention nothing about this. Henry boils it down to Noah simply being amazing, and he credits him for unlocking the sword's true potential. That night, we see that the lenders are still bowing down in front of the gate. It's been hours, so the guys lose their patience. One guy begins to hurl curse words at the castle, and he tells Noah not to get all snotty by ignoring them. The other guys try to stop their leader, but he vows to eliminate Noah for ignoring them. Noah then uses a new ability as he forces the guys to the ground by just glaring at them. Henry can tell that Noah nearly knocked these guys unconscious by just looking at them, so he can only wonder what Noah did this time. Noah reveals that he unleashed just a tiny bit of the Leviathan's power and used it to threaten them. A while later, Noah arrives at a hall and he is greeted by Radok. When he enters the building, everyone begins to clap for him, and they talk about how he's the 13th prince. He looks so dignified for someone his age, and it's clear that he's the son of the king. Radok wonders what Noah's carrying on his waist, so Noah explains that it was a gift from the crown prince. He simply says that it's the Leviathan, and everyone is shocked. This sword is a national treasure, and everyone is amazed because it was a direct gift from the crown prince. Some jerk in the crowd says that it's probably just a toy replica, but he is horrified when he realizes that Noah hurt him. The Leviathan itself is even more upset than Noah, and it can't hold back its lust for blood. Its darkness spreads through the entire room, so Noah must command for it to hold itself back. The Leviathan obeys Noah's orders immediately, and it withdraws its dark power before anyone loses their lives. Noah determines that the Leviathan was angry because its master was insulted, but that's not okay. Noah tells the sword that he appreciates its loyalty, but he says that it went too far. Radok is surprisingly pleased with the display, as he is sure that everyone felt very close to losing their lives. That was the true power of a national treasure, and what just happened clearly demonstrated that Noah has won control over that overwhelming power. The crowd buys into what he's saying, as they determine that Noah saved all their lives with just a single word. The sword was ready to make them all pay for doubting Noah, but Noah mercifully spared their lives. This makes them all adore Noah even more, so they cheer for him once again. Radok wonders what they should do about the guy that doubted him, so Noah simply says to leave him be. He already embarrassed himself, and he can't hide from it. As the night goes on, everyone takes turns introducing themselves to the prince. One guy introduces himself and his daughter, and Noah amazes everyone as he's able to tell a lot about them from one look. He can tell that the father's a 2nd or 3rd generation noble, and his daughter's adopted. Noah is able to guess this because the father has the bearing of someone that was born into a high rank, but his daughter doesn't. Furthermore, Noah can tell that his daughter's a former slave. He reached this conclusion because the moment she felt flustered, she gave Noah a curious look. It's a look unique to people who have been slaves, and Noah noticed it immediately. The father named Alan can't believe that Noah was able to tell all this, and he confirms everything. He originally bought the girl named Cindy as a slave, but she learns very quickly, so he has been teaching her as his adopted daughter. Noah then surprises them as he says that he really likes stories like that. He would like to hear more, so he says that he would like for them to visit his mansion sometime. The two of them thank the prince, and they make their leave. Noah's even more impressed by Alan because he knew when it was the perfect time to leave. Radok agrees that the guy is very smart because if he stayed any longer, then everyone would get envious of him. The crowd still takes notice of Alan because he was the first one to be acknowledged by the prince. Just then, Noah reveals that there was another way he could tell that Cindy wasn't Alan's real daughter. Noah demonstrates by releasing some of the Leviathan's evil power, and Cindy immediately notices. Noah reveals that Cindy has been protecting Alan since the first time he used the sword as a threat. A girl her age would normally be the one being protected, but she's no ordinary girl. Radok is shocked because no one knew this from the very start, and he says that he's never been so impressed by anyone before. The next day, Noah is greeted by the 8th prince, named Oscar. Noah says that he's just out on a walk, so Oscar says that he should join him in a treasure hunt. Noah agrees, so they head to Cobalt Street. Noah has heard of this place before because it is said that antiques from all over the Empire can be found here. Oscar says that this is true, but there can also be many counterfeits. Finding the real treasure among them is something any noble should be able to do. The guys spend the day looking for great treasures, but in the end, they don't find anything good. Oscar calls it bad luck, and he's surprised when Noah buys something. It's a cheap book that only costs 3 reen, so Oscar assumes that Noah just bought it because it was a bargain. Noah says that the book just made him curious, and Oscar is shocked when he realizes what it really is. He can't believe it at first, but a closer look makes him sure. It's the Grimoire of Andrea, who was a legendary sorcerer. It's the original copy, which means that it's without a doubt a genuine treasure. Depending what's inside the book, Noah might be able to sell it for 1,000 reen. This is truly unbelievable, so Oscar wonders how Noah knew what it was. Noah of course didn't know, but the moment he touched it, a plus was added to his win stat. Just then Noah realizes something, and the Leviathan begins to shake uncontrollably. The sword has realized it as well, and Noah takes it and points it at the book. Only beings with their own will can add to his stats, which means that this book must have a will of its own. Threatening the book with his sword causes it to react, and it begins to release its own power. The book opens to a page with a magic circle in it, and even more power flows out of it. Something terrifying emerges from the book, and Oscar's in disbelief. He can't understand what's happening, and he wonders if the book is a forbidden tomb with the sorcerer's soul sealed inside it. The situation is getting more dangerous every second, so Oscar tells Noah to run. He has determined that this being is the vengeful spirit of the great sorcerer who has mastered wind magic. Violent winds begin to fill the air, so Oscar once again tells Noah to run. Noah refuses, however, and he tells the spirit to leave. He unleashes an immensely powerful water attack from the Leviathan, and this immediately defeats the spirit. The sky is clear once again, and Noah confirms that the spirit is gone because his wind stat no longer shows a plus. Oscar checks to see if there's any collateral damage, but Noah assures him that everything is fine. Noah didn't want to hurt anyone or damage any of the buildings, so he aimed his attack upwards. Oscar's amazed by him once again because Noah was able to make that kind of decision in a mere instant. He doesn't remember Noah being this way, so he can only wonder when he became this strong. Just then, a merchant named Barley introduces himself. After seeing what Noah's capable of, he has decided to show him something. Noah wonders if it's some kind of treasure, but the merchant isn't really sure. He shows it to them and explains that it's a ring that will only show its true form when its true owner appears. Barley has shown it to many people, but it never responds. It's not doing anything now, so Noah says that it could also just be trash. The merchant considered this before, and he even tried to get rid of it many times. However, no matter how many times he throws it away, the ring just keeps coming back. It keeps reappearing in his store, which makes him certain that there's something special about it. Noah tries it on, and Barley is shocked as it begins to glow for the first time ever. A mysterious voice declares that the level limit has been confirmed. It reveals that it's a triple S rarity item, and it has just recognized Noah as its new owner. It says Armor Eyes, and a strange liquid begins to flow out of it. It moves over Noah's arms and legs, and the guys are shocked when the ring's true form is finally revealed. Even Noah's amazed because the ring has changed into armor that covers Noah's arms and legs. There's no change in his stats though, which means that it's not the same sort of being as that Grimoire or the Leviathan. The ring is without a doubt a very special item though, and it will have its uses. Noah says that he will buy the ring from Bardsley, and he will have payment sent to him later. Oscar, however, offers to pay for it, and says that Noah can just think of it as a gift. First, Noah awakened a magic sword, and now he did the same for a magic ring, so Oscar is sure that there's something very special about Noah. The two guys eventually part ways, but the lender appears to attack Noah. Noah's friends try to protect him, but he doesn't need it. Instead, he activates his ring and tracks everyone by using it to create a shield. The guy is dealt with, and Noah puts his shield away. Oscar doesn't remember seeing that before, so Noah explains that he linked the ring with the Leviathan. Noah wasn't sure what would happen, but the ring seems to have reacted to the guy's hostility with automatic defense. Oscar is amazed once again as he realizes that Noah has already mastered the ring's power in such a short time. Later, Noah goes to see Alichi perform again, and he thinks about how the lender is done for after attacking him. They won't be bothering Alichi anymore either, so he reminds himself to tell her that later. Just then, some drunk guy jumps onto the stage to hit on Alichi. Another guy says that he saw her first, so they begin to argue. A fight is about to break out, but Noah comes out of nowhere to stop them with his shield. He follows it up with an attack from his sword, and the guys run for their lives. The owner apologizes for what happened, so Noah tells him to never let guys like them in ever again. The owner points out that customers like them are the ones keeping his business alive, so he has no other choice. Noah tells him not to worry, and he stuns the guy by saying that he will just buy the entire business. Noah has Zoe show him the money, and he offers to pay the guy 1,000 reen. The owner happily accepts, so Alichi doesn't know how to repay Noah for everything he's done. Noah explains that all he wants from her is her music, so she can repay him by continuing to sing. She wonders if he really likes her singing that much, and Noah explains that he sees a lot of potential in her. He wants the Emperor to hear her one day, so he tells her to devote herself to singing until then. Alichi couldn't be happier, so she promises to work as hard as she can. As she sings, Noah determines that his judgment was spot on because investing in people is the real treasure. A while later, Noah's told that he has a guest. His name is Marley, and he's the Governor General of a place called Holdjoy. Marley was given an imperial order to manage the flood control in Holdjoy, but it's not going so well. Holdjoy is a fertile grain-producing region in the bend of a large river, but it suffers from flooding. The Emperor appointed Marley of Almeria, the home of the Water Clan, to govern it in hopes that he could stabilize it. Marley explains that the problem is that they haven't received any funding, and they can't use money they don't have. Marley's working under an imperial order, so Noah says that there must be money for him to use. Marley explains that they were supposed to be given money, but the Minister of Finance hasn't been giving it to them. Noah doesn't waste any time, and he tells Marley to follow him. They meet with the Minister of Finance named Maverick, and Noah gets right to the point. Maverick has been delaying the distribution of funds, and Noah demands to know why. Maverick denies delaying the funds, so Noah wonders why he isn't giving Marley the money. Maverick assures him that there is a very good reason for this, but Noah can already see where this is going. He tells Maverick that if he's going to say that a child wouldn't understand, then it would be better for him to just stay silent. Maverick is caught off guard by Noah's assertiveness, and he says that he would never be so rude. Noah then instructs him to tell him the reason, so Maverick explains. Holdjoy also suffered major flood damage last year, so out of the kindness of the Emperor's heart, he granted them an entire year of tax exemption. This means that they should have extra money from not paying taxes, and it's Maverick's opinion that they should use that money for Marley's work. Marley has heard this excuse before, and he fears that Noah will give in, but he is shocked when Noah actually becomes upset. Noah wonders if Maverick is belittling him because he would never consider that a good reason. Holdjoy had a flood, so the Emperor gave them a tax exemption because they had no money to pay with. Maverick speaks as if they have that money, but it never existed in the first place. Noah says that he will ask one more time, so he asks Maverick if he's belittling him. Maverick is startled, and he says that the truth is that he can't send the money right now. He seems to come up with an excuse on the spot, as he says that the reason has to do with the Emperor himself. He explains that currently, there's a plan to build the Emperor's summer retreat. The Emperor is not young anymore, so he should spend his summers away from the heat and somewhere a bit cooler. It's simply a retreat, but it's for the Emperor, so they have decided to build him a royal villa. This means building an entire city that the Emperor can probably call his villa, and that requires a vast amount of money. Marley hears that he's bringing the Emperor into this, so he fears that Noah will surely give in this time, but Noah shocks him once again. Noah interrupts Maverick's explanation and tells him to be silent. Noah says that Maverick is committing a grave crime against the royal family, and Maverick is terrified. Maverick saying that they don't have enough money is ridiculous, and Noah wonders if Maverick thinks that the Emperor is some kind of fool. That's the last thing Maverick wants him to think, so he apologizes for the misunderstanding. Noah simply tells him to distribute the funds, and he threatens to appeal to the Emperor himself if he doesn't. Maverick is terrified of this, so he says that he will supply Holdjoy with funding immediately. Marley's completely shocked because Noah got the Minister of Finance to yield without lifting a finger. He tells Noah that the way he negotiates is brilliant. He caught Maverick in his lies and contradictions with verbal mastery. Noah has his utmost admiration, and all he can do now is bow down before him. Marley thanks him and says that he will hurry back and proceed with the flood control measures. After he leaves, Noah is told that the Emperor wants to see him. The Emperor says that he did well because he heard that Noah corrected Maverick in a negotiation. That only just happened, so Noah can only wonder how the Emperor already knows about it. Noah is incredibly humble, so he says that he only did what anyone would do. The Emperor agrees, but he points out that what comes naturally doesn't always come easily. There are many slick talkers out there who know how to use flattery, so not many people can do the right thing with natural ease. The Emperor puts his hand on Noah's head and says that what he is doing is very impressive for someone that is only 6 years old. He sees that the Leviathan is smaller than it used to be, and he's impressed that Noah was able to master it. The magic sword has a very dark history, so the idea of Noah fully mastering it can only be described as remarkable. Noah knows exactly what he's talking about, because if he didn't stop the Leviathan the other day, it would have eliminated everyone at the party. The Emperor thinks it would be a good idea for Noah to learn some techniques to wield a sword, so he summoned an instructor of swordsmanship. His name is Damian Noble, and he is the Empire's greatest swordsman. It is said that no one can match his skills, so Noah promises to learn everything he can from him. Noble requests a bout with Noah immediately, and the Emperor is surprised because Noah doesn't know anything about swordsmanship yet. Noble tells him not to worry because he only intends on observing Noah's aptitude, not his technique. The Emperor allows it, so Noah realizes that this guy clearly has his father's trust. Their bout begins, and Noble tells Noah to come at him however he sees fit. Noah prepares himself, and he's surprised to feel that the Leviathan is shaking from excitement. The two fighters clash, and Noah notices that the Leviathan's memories are flowing into him. They are the memories of all its past owners, and this includes their fighting abilities. Noah is able to remove the sword from Noble's hands, and he determines that this truly is a magic sword that chooses its own master. Its previous owners must have been very skilled, and now Noah wields that power. Noble apologizes to the Emperor because he has nothing to teach the prince. Noah's strength and speed are definitely those of a child, but he used technique alone to disarm him. The reason Noble has nothing to teach him is because Noah already possesses the swordsmanship skill of a master. The Emperor can only laugh as he's once again impressed by his incredible son. He comes up with an idea and says that he will make Noah a judge in this year's knight selection exam. He thinks that there's no one better suited for the job, so Noah accepts. The knight selection exam is an annual event involving participants from all corners of the Empire. For this empire, a nation of warriors that treasures its military, it is said that the way of the warrior is the only path to success. In the exam, the fighters who win the regional preliminaries meet in the capital for the final battles. The one who emerges victorious earns the title of knight and immediately joins the upper ranks of society. The first job of the new knight is to become a subordinate of the head judge. This means that Noah will be getting a powerful knight under his command, and he's very much looking forward to it. With a talented knight in his service, Noah knows that he will become even stronger. There's no telling how much it will boost his stats, and he can't wait to find out. The first decision the head judge must make is how he will judge the event. Winners will either be decided by round robin or elimination. Noah says that he only has one request and explains that he wants to do away with the regional preliminaries. This way he can do all the judging here in the capital and see everything with his own eyes. The Emperor can only wonder why, so Noah explains that their nation is vast. He can't observe all the preliminaries in every region, and he wouldn't want any strong candidates to be excluded for random reasons. He doesn't want to leave any stone unturned, and he simply doesn't want to overlook any good talent. The Emperor is pleased to hear this, so he tells Noah to do as he pleases. Later, Noah wonders if there are any knight selection exam participants in Zoe's village. Zoe confirms that there's only one that their village sends to the exam every year. Noah explains that he did away with the regional preliminaries this year, so her village can send more participants. Zoe's caught off guard, so Noah wonders what's wrong. She says it's nothing, but Noah can tell that she wants to say something. He assures her that he isn't mad or anything, he just wants to know what she's thinking. Zoe explains that the reason her village only sends one challenger is because it can't afford the travel and lodging expenses. Everything costs more in the capital, so it takes donations from all the villagers just to send one challenger. This is exactly the kind of thing Noah wanted to know about, because it could interfere with him finding the absolute best competitor. Noah wants to choose from as many people as possible, and it wouldn't be good to overlook any talent for this kind of reason. He doesn't want a single challenger in the nation to be left out, so he says that he will cover all travel and lodging expenses. Zoe points out that this would cost a great deal of money, but Noah has a plan. He instructs Dylan to find out how many vacant houses are in the capital and to buy them all. If there are not enough houses, then they will build a dormitory. As for the meals, he tells Dylan to talk to all the merchants that they have connections with. Noah says that he will even speak with some of them himself, and Zoe's once again amazed by him. A while later, Noah can't believe it when he sees the bill for all the food that's going to feed every participant. It's not nearly as much as he imagined it would be, so Alan explains that they gave a huge discount because it's a request from the 13th prince. Noah isn't buying it, and he's sure that Alan is lying. Merchants don't give money away out of mere compassion, so Noah wonders what Alan wants from him. Noah's right once again, and Alan can't believe that a boy his age understands the world so well. Alan comes clean and explains what he wants. There is a placement employment exam run on roughly the same scale as the night selection exam. Alan wants to put a girl in the palace, but it's not easy. Noah realizes that if Alan had someone in the palace, then he would be the first to hear new information. Also, if she were ordered to spend nights with the Emperor as a consort, the profits would be immeasurable. Alan doesn't want Noah to think that this is some kind of ultimatum, so he says that he already sent a token of gratitude to Noah's mansion. Noah can tell that this is just an advance payment for helping him, so he determines that Alan is pretty smart. Noah agrees to put in a good word for the girl, but only if it's a girl that Noah likes. Alan's incredibly grateful, but Noah reminds him that it must be a girl he sincerely approves of. Alan promises to choose a girl who measures up to Noah's standards, and he reveals something else. He says that Noah is incredibly kind, and he has a very keen perception. That elevates Noah above everyone else in his eyes, which is why he would like to add the crest of the 13th Prince's house to his store sign. This means that he's ready to fully devote himself to Noah's service, so Noah must explain to him that he will not tolerate any betrayal. Alan vows to stay loyal to him, so Noah accepts his service. That night, Noah thinks about how accepting Alan as his subordinate increased his stats. The increase correlates with the abilities of the subordinate, so Noah determines that if he keeps this up, he can get even stronger. Just then, Noah sees that one of his stats went down. The water stat went down from plus double S to a single S, so he fears that something happened in Almeria. He determines that this matter is urgent, so he instructs Zoe to tell his driver to head to the Emperor's palace. Noah informs the Emperor that there has been some kind of change in Almeria, so the Emperor wonders how he knew. It sounds like the Emperor heard about it as well, but the Emperor explains that he merely noticed the signs. Before Noah can explain, a messenger arrives to tell the Emperor what just happened. There has been a rebellion in Almeria, and the Emperor is impressed that Noah was able to sense it. He wonders how large Noah thinks the rebellion is, so Noah gives it some thought. His double S dropped to a single S, which means it only went down one rank out of several. Noah says that he believes the rebellion is small in scale right now, and the Emperor confirms his intuition. He reveals that the report identified 5,000 rebels. Their numbers are low, so the Emperor wonders if Noah is planning to handle this himself. He's surprised when Noah says that that would be impossible. Noah says that he's still young and unfamiliar with combat, so he doesn't think the soldiers will listen to him. If they were to send a prince to subjugate this matter, Noah thinks it should be one of his older brothers. This is not an answer the Emperor expected, because Noah looked at the situation so objectively before refusing. The Emperor decides to trust his judgment, and he asks which brother Noah would recommend. Noah believes that Henry would be the best choice, but the Emperor says that Henry can be difficult to deal with sometimes, so he wonders why Noah would choose him. Noah points out that the rebels are low in number, so the best way to deal with them is by suppressing them head on. Henry's the most prudent of all his brothers, so he's the best for this job. The Emperor is impressed with Noah's decision, so he orders for Henry to be summoned. As they leave, Henry wonders if Noah is sure about his decision. Ending the rebellion is a big deal, and this could be a chance for Noah to increase his status. This empire is a nation of warriors, so a great achievement in battle would greatly benefit Noah. Noah already knows this, but he also knows that he's inexperienced. Even if he did survive while handling it himself, he's sure that many soldiers would lose their lives. Noah thinks it would be better for someone with more experience to handle it, because it would spare many more lives, and that's more important to him than his status. Just then, the Leviathan begins to glow, and Noah realizes that the enemy is here. He instructs the carriage to stop, and he thinks about how the Leviathan just reacted to them. He realizes that the enemy is after him, and he doesn't want to get his brother involved. Noah immediately jumps outside, and surprisingly puts himself out in danger. This sets off a water trap that was waiting for him, and everyone is horrified as he's engulfed in water. The attackers show themselves to take advantage of this, but they are shocked when they see that Noah defended himself with several shields. Noah determines that they are water users, which means that they are Almerian rebels. They move in to attack our hero, but Noah begins eliminating them with ruthless precision. His skills are on full display, and he makes light work of the rebels. They are in disbelief because Noah's just a kid, but it's too late as they're all defeated. Henry says that Noah has gotten much stronger since they last met, and he just wishes they could have interrogated the rebels. Noah surprisingly reveals that he didn't end their lives, and he simply used the Leviathan's threat to knock them unconscious. Henry confirms that they're still breathing, but this attack was surprising to him. He heard that the rebel army was centered around cavalrymen, and he didn't know there would be these types of fighters as well. This is odd for Noah to hear, because Almeria doesn't have a strong supply of war horses. They must be getting them from somewhere else, so he comes up with an idea. He meets up with Alan, because he does business in the area surrounding Almeria. Citizens aren't supposed to know what he's about to tell Alan, so Noah says that he considers himself dead if he tells anyone. Alan understands, so Noah reveals that there's a rebellion in Almeria. Cavalrymen are the center of their forces, but Almeria is not well equipped to handle so many war horses. Noah gives Alan 10,000 reen and tells him to purchase all the horse feed in Almeria. Almeria won't have much food for horses since they are so ill-equipped for them, so they will be able to neutralize the cavalry by cutting their supplies of horse feed. Alan is amazed by Noah's brilliant idea, so he says that he will get started right away. Noah is sure that this will work, and it will make it a lot easier for his brother to fight. Later, the king reveals that they were able to get information from the guys that try to eliminate Noah. It turns out that they were actually trying to kidnap him so they could use him as a bargaining chip. Noah wonders if they gave in too easily, and he suspects that they might be lying. The king is once again impressed by Noah's intelligence, but he points out that there are ways to get people to tell the truth. Noah isn't familiar with the ways of torture, so he just trusts his father. The king is impressed because he heard that Noah is targeting the rebel horses, and this shocks Noah because he only just now told Alan about his plan. The king surprised him like this before, but this time was even faster. The king explains that starvation tactics are pretty common, and Albert, the second prince, even suggested starving the rebels themselves. Noah, on the other hand, realized on his own that this would cause the rebels to attack the people, and he chose to starve their horses instead. The king says that he's not only impressed by Noah's ideas, it's also his ability to act on them. The king wants to reward Noah somehow, so he permits the addition of a sword to Noah's crest. Noah is stunned, and he explains to us why that's such a big deal. In this nation of warriors, the sword serves as a symbol of a warrior. Adding a sword without the king's permission is sacrilege, and it's punishable by death. However, being granted the emperor's permission to add one is among the greatest honors a person can earn. The king orders the production of the new crest, so Noah thanks his father. Later, Alan explains that he gathered a lot of information about the horse feed. He knows every single type that's being imported, and it will be a simple task to buy it all. Besides that, Alan has learned about the leader of the rebels, named Carfin. He's extremely tenacious, and he will do whatever it takes to achieve his goal. Just then, a maid arrives to explain that there's a wounded man at the front gate. He has an urgent report, and he introduces himself as an officer from Almeria. He says that there has been a rebellion, and reveals that his superior started an uprising. This guy couldn't bring himself to go along with it, so instead he fled to report the situation to Noah. Alan feels bad for the guy because Noah already knows this, but Noah's still gracious to him. He thanks the guy for the information and has his maid treat his wounds. Noah even gives him a 1,000 reen reward, so Alan can't understand why. Noah already knows about the rebellion, so that information wasn't useful to him. Noah doesn't care about that. He just knows that the guy risked his life to warn him. That kind of loyalty is hard to find, so Noah simply wanted to reward it. Later, we see that Zoe's very distressed as she goes to see Noah. She collapses to the ground and hands him a small bag of money. There's 500 reen inside, and Zoe reveals that a stranger gave it to her. All they told her to do in return was get Noah to drink a sleeping drug. She was supposed to mix it into his drink, then hand Noah over to them once he fell asleep. Noah can tell that these were the rebels, making it clear that they really want to kidnap him. Noah wonders why she brought the money to him, so she explains that she could never betray him. Noah helped her mother, and even her entire village, so she would never do anything to hurt him. Unfortunately, they said they would end her life if she didn't do what they told her to. Zoe can only cry now because she could never bring herself to betray Noah. Noah completely understands, so he rewards her. They try to buy her betrayal for 500 reen, but she didn't do it. Nothing is more important to Noah than loyalty, so he added a 0 to the number they gave her. Zoe is stunned because it's 5,000 reen, so she refuses to accept so much money. Noah tells her that she doesn't have a choice, so she thanks her generous master. Noah reveals that there's something he wants her to do, so she says that she will do anything. Noah shocks her by revealing that he's going to drink the drug that they gave her. When he falls asleep, he wants Zoe to take him to the people that told her to do it. Zoe can't believe it, and Noah says that she must run and hide afterwards. They will try to silence her if she sticks around, but her job will be done by then. Zoe has no clue why he would want this, but we see that Noah has a plan. Noah wakes up after being drugged, and he hears the rebels wondering if they should end his life. Their leader told them only to do that as a last resort, so they will let him live for now. Noah's all tied up, but we see that he hid his sword inside of his ear. He brings it out, and he's relieved to see that his captors didn't take his ring. Noah uses the power of his ring to cut the rope, and he sets himself free. His eyes adjust to the darkness, and he realizes that he's in the back of a wagon. Noah wants to know what happened after he fell asleep, so he tells the Leviathan to show him its memories. This shows the rebels arriving, and how Zoe was able to run away just in time. Noah's able to see how many of them there are, and he completely understands the situation now. Noah's ready, so he reveals himself to all the rebels. They aren't very impressed, because they're under the impression that Noah's big brother was the one who saved him against the other rebels. They prepare for a fight, but Noah easily takes one of them out in the blink of an eye. The rebels are all shocked, and Noah's disappointed. He thought he would be able to get information from these guys, but he now knows that they're just lackeys. They're insulted, so they all attack him at the same time, but Noah's just too skilled. He wipes the floor with them, and the battle's over almost immediately. Zoe arrives soon after, and she has brought several knights with her. Noah wonders what the meaning of this is, and she can only apologize. She knows that he told her to hide, but she was worried about him, so she brought the knights to save him. It's clear now that he didn't need saving, and all the knights are shocked that Noah defeated all these rebels himself. Noah orders for the captain of the knights to handle the rebels, but he notices something when one of the rebels' sword falls to the ground. Noah urgently tells the knights not to touch it, and he tells everyone to stay away from it. This dagger is covered in darkness, and Noah's shocked by how much malice it has. Through his Leviathan, Noah's able to sense that this weapon has a curse on it too. It has some kind of sorcery on it, and it's filled with the hatred of the one that cursed it. Noah sees an image of this person, and he comes up with an idea. The curse seems to be attached to the person, so he wonders if his Leviathan can do something. He senses that his sword is sure it can do it, so Noah begins the process. This causes an immense power to emerge from the Leviathan in the form of water, and it takes to the sky. This thing even goes into outer space, before eventually taking out its target. The next day, the Emperor surprisingly gets on his knee to tell Noah that he did a good job. He just received the great news that last night something happened to the leader of the rebels. He was pierced through the head by a pillar of water that appeared out of nowhere. The Emperor can't be sure, but he assumes that this had to be Noah's doing. Noah confirms that it was, and he thinks about what he did. He used the hatred in the dagger to guide the Leviathan to the rebel leader with a long-distance sniping shot. This was an incredible feat, and Noah's just glad that it worked. After losing their leader, the rebel army was quickly suppressed by Henry. Nearly everyone responsible has been arrested, and it's time for the Emperor to decide what their punishment will be. Everyone in the courtroom waits for his decision, and he finally decides. He tells his men to ready the horses so that the culprits can be pulled apart by them. The king tells Noah to just wait, because the rebels will pay for their crime of launching a rebellion on Noah's land. Just then, everyone is shocked, as Noah says that they shouldn't do that. The Emperor demands to know what the meaning of this is, so Noah explains that the rebels must be punished in accordance with the law. According to imperial law, rebel leaders are to be cut in half at the waist. Third-degree supporters and accomplices are to be hanged, and any others are to have their heads taken off. The punishment the Emperor suggested doesn't exist in the laws of this empire. The Emperor points out that these culprits sullied Noah's name, so their punishment should match. Noah isn't letting this affect his judgment, so he explains why it's such a bad idea. If the Emperor breaks the law by punishing them in an unlawful way, then it can throw the king's supremacy into disarray. Tensions rise as everyone fears that the Emperor will be angry, but he's actually impressed by Noah's sound logic. He realizes that he was making a mistake, and he credits Noah for catching it. The audience is stunned because the Emperor just acknowledged Noah's decision-making over his own. The Emperor will not be satisfied with the tame punishment, so he orders for the culprits to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. He wonders if Noah sees any problems with this, so Noah says that it's fine. The audience is amazed by Noah's bravery because he countered the Emperor himself without even changing his expression. The Emperor says that Noah stopped him from sullying this empire's good name in history, so he must be rewarded. He decides to grant Noah a title so that his cleverness can be known to everyone. For this, the Emperor grants Noah the title called Wise. The audience gasps in amazement as the prince has a new title because this has never been done before. This change shows on Noah's status screen as well, as his title changes from the 13th Prince to the Wise Prince. The Emperor then gives him the greatest compliment of all, as he wishes that Noah had been born just a while sooner. The audience erupts with applause, and they all cheer for the Wise Prince. The king reminds Noah that the knight selection is coming up soon, and he wonders if Noah has decided how he will judge it. Noah reveals that he has a plan, so he shows him after the trial. Noah has several guards surround him outside, and each one of them has a bucket of water. He instructs them to begin, so the guards start tossing the water at Noah. Noah's ring acts immediately by summoning a shield and blocking each attack. Noah explains that he will have the participants attack him like this, and he will judge them based on how close their attacks get to him. The Emperor says that this is another one of Noah's brilliant ideas because it will reduce the burden on Noah and ease the judgment process. He points out, however, that this strategy is not without risks. If any contender is powerful enough to break through Noah's defenses, there's no telling what will happen. Noah impresses his father once more as he says that he's prepared to handle that situation as well. The Emperor accepts the plan of the wise prince, and Noah thanks his father. A while later, the Prime Minister named Noisehill wonders if what the Emperor said was a good idea. In front of everyone, he told Noah that he wished he had been born sooner. This means that Noah would be the front runner to take his throne if he was born sooner, but this could cause problems between the brothers. The Emperor doesn't see the issue because Noah deserved the praise. Not only did he stand up to him in front of everyone, Noah also took out the enemy leader without even going to the battlefield. Besides that magic sword of his really seems to possess terrifying power. Just then, the king calls out to someone named Cruz and tells him to bring something out. The king seems to be hiding something, as he explains that the legend says that the true seal on the Leviathan must not be broken. It would be incredibly dangerous, but the Emperor wonders what the outcome would be if Noah were the one to release it. A while later, we see that the night competition has been going on for some time, and several warriors are still participating. The night selection exam is the Empire's largest annual event, and it draws everyone's attention. This year in particular has garnered a lot of attention because this is the first time in history that a prince is serving as a judge. A great number of people have gathered to see Noah, and he now prepares himself to test another warrior. The examinee desperately tries to land an attack, but Noah's shield is too powerful. It blocks every strike, and the examinee's sword eventually breaks. The audience is stunned because several warriors have tried, but not a single one has been able to break Noah's defenses. Nearby, the king is told that this year's exam is considered to be far more exciting than those of the past. The king reminds Cruz that the night selection exam is for choosing a worthy soldier. The outcome is all that matters, and he looks forward to seeing what sort of fighter Noah chooses. The next examinee has some kind of incredible power, and everyone watches in amazement as he releases a blast of energy. Everyone is left in shock, however, as Noah easily defends himself from this attack as well. Today's exam will soon be coming to an end, so Noah's disappointed because he didn't find any noteworthy candidates. The next test will be the last of the day, so the final examinee steps forward. Her attack is of course blocked, but Noah's caught off guard as she manages to pierce his shield. The girl declares that she isn't done yet, and she's shockingly able to break Noah's defenses. The crowd watches in horror as her blade pierces Noah, and she's taken into custody. No one can believe that she actually managed to injure the prince, and they say that the law is going to come down hard on her. Just then, everyone is stunned as Noah tells the guards to let the girl go. Her name is Shirley, and everyone watches in awe as Noah tells her that she passed. No one can believe it because she just injured him, but Noah says that she's definitely worthy. Later, Noah would like to hear where Shirley got her armor, so she explains that it has been handed down in her family for generations. Shirley wonders what kind of punishment she will receive for hurting him, but Noah knows that she didn't do it on purpose. Noah was the one that told the warriors to attack him, so he doesn't blame her for just doing what she was told. Noah tells her to use the same attack again right now, but Shirley's taken by surprise. Noah points out that she's a knight, so she should just follow his orders. Shirley does as he says, and Noah blocks her attack again. He tells her to try and break through like she did before, but Shirley is stunned as the shield won't budge a single inch. She can't understand what's going on, so Noah explains that this is what he could have done if he really wanted to block her attack. A knight's job is to follow orders, and Noah just wanted to see if she would execute his orders faithfully. The reason he allowed her to fully break his shield earlier is because he needs a knight who's not going to hold back out of fear of what he might do. Shirley came at him twice now without holding back, so he determines that she has what it takes. Shirley's amazed by his resolve to find the perfect knight, so she swears her undying loyalty to him. Noah takes a look at his status screen, and he sees that as far as people go, Shirley has raised his stats the most. She's only one person, but adding her to his army has given him a plus F for several attributes. Just then, Dr. Good arrives to tend to Noah's wound. Shirley has never seen a doctor like him before, so Noah wonders what people in her village do with their injured. Shirley explains that their elders simply prays for them, and Dr. Good says that that's pretty common in poor villages. Noah knows that the quickest way to become a doctor is to start as an apprentice, so he comes up with an idea. He gives Shirley her first order and tells her to bring in the most clever and hardworking people in her village. Noah then tells Dr. Good that he will take on a few of them as his apprentices. Shirley is stunned by this kind act, and Noah even says that he will take care of all the expenses. He tells Shirley to bring anyone who's up to the task of being a doctor because he wants them to treat the other people in her village. Shirley's at a complete loss for words, and she can only thank the prince. Noah simply tells her that knights don't bow down like this, so she will have to brush up on her knightly etiquette. Later, Shirley prepares to begin her job as a knight, and she runs into some of the maids. They're wondering what sort of lady the prince might want as a bride, so Shirley points out that he's still pretty young. They explain that things are different for royalty because the other princes were all married before they turned 15. The maids think about who he might want to marry, and they list off some of the princesses in nearby kingdoms. Shirley is stunned, but one of the maids explains that this is just how popular Noah has become. There's no prince kinder than him, and the other maids point out that Zoe has gotten very close to him. She has even started to learn magic, and it's all because of Noah. Afterwards, Noah's given the report on this year's knight selection exam now that it's over. Thanks to Noah's screening method, all of this year's new knights are excellent. The knight captain says that all the knights are very grateful for the role Noah played in getting them there, and Noah's grateful as well. He has Shirley escort the captain outside, and she thanks him for visiting them. The captain is impressed by her poise, and he quickly realizes something. He explains that Noah sent her to see off another knight as part of her training, and Shirley can't believe that Noah is thinking that far ahead. The captain tells her that she will never go wrong as long as she sticks with Noah, so she better work hard. Later, Noah holds another party, and Ellen congratulates him on the success of the exam. Noah, however, says that this party is actually to thank them for helping him, and he says that they should enjoy themselves. Noah explains that everyone here is a merchant, and they all have deep ties to the house of the 13th prince. Noah set all this up for him, so Ellen promises to cultivate as many relationships as he can. Just then, Zoe reveals that Noah has been sent a message. There is nothing written on the envelope, and the guard at the door said that the person who delivered it just ran away. The girls get worried when Noah opens it, and even the Leviathan begins to react. Noah tells everyone to calm down, and he reads the letter. It reveals that there's some unsettling movements among the remnants of the Almerian rebels. Noah isn't sure about what this means, and the person who delivered the message has gone back to investigate undercover. Just then, Noah realizes that this must be the same person that risked his life to report to him. The guy eventually found out that Noah already knew about the rebellion, and Noah still rewarded him anyway. The girls determine that he must be doing this to repay that debt. The girls think it's an honorable thing to do, but Noah points out that it's actually really bad. Playing pretend spy when having no training is too dangerous, and the guy's life will be ended if he's found out. Henry should still be in the area, so Noah says that he will tell his brother to stop the guy. Unfortunately, a while later, Noah was informed of the terrible news. The soldier was discovered as a spy, and he was tortured. He refused to give any information, so his captors didn't show any mercy. Henry's soldiers were able to retrieve him, but he's still unconscious. Noah blames himself because if he realized all this sooner, he could have stopped the guy. Noah makes a decision, so he tells Zoe to relay a message for him. He wants everyone in Almeria to know that he will spare no expense to make sure that the guy is protected. Noah can only think about how incredibly loyal that guy is, and no amount of information is worth sacrificing someone like him. Afterwards, Noah searches for a gift to thank Henry for everything he did. Noah is shown several priceless items, and Shirley is stunned because she has never seen so many amazing treasures. Something catches Noah's eye because it doesn't feel the same as the other items. The merchant is very impressed because Noah was able to tell which item was the most valuable with just one look. The merchant reveals what's under the tarp, and Noah's amazed by what he sees. The merchant explains that it was left behind by an uncommonly skilled artisan, and her name is Lindsay. This is considered to be a lost art because there are only 2 goddess statues like this that still exist. Noah likes it a lot, so he offers to pay 10,000 reen for it. Noah's brother Oscar arrives, and he explains that he's in search of a fine treasure. He notices the glass goddess statue, and he can immediately tell that it was made by Lindsay. There are only 2 of these in existence, and Oscar reveals that he has the other one. Just then, Noah shocks everyone as he shatters the statue into 1,000,000 pieces. Everyone thinks that he lost his mind, but Noah tells them not to worry. He still pays the merchant for it, and he reveals his true intentions. Noah says that the second statue was found, but it was just broken. This means that there's only one left in existence, and he tells the merchant to spread that rumor around town. Oscar is amazed because this will greatly raise the value of his goddess statue. Oscar says that he didn't reach this kind of wisdom until he was an adult, so it's very impressive that Noah was able to think of this immediately. Afterwards, Shirley points out that it's been nothing but surprises since she started serving him. Noah destroyed a treasure without even hesitating, and it was all to help his brother. Noah explains that that statue was only an object, and real treasures are nothing like that. The treasures Noah really cares about are the people who risk their lives to bring him information, the people who work their hardest to live up to his expectations, and those who swear loyalty to him. The objects of this world mean nothing to him because its people will always be the real treasures. Shirley's at a complete loss for words, and Noah says that this includes her. She's in awe of the young prince, so she vows to follow him for the rest of her life. 6 years later, we see that Noah has grown quite a bit as he prepares to leave his mansion. All the maids wish him luck, and Noah heads outside with his loyal companions. Thanks for watching my recap. Make sure to like the video.